In the ever-evolving landscape of international trade, the impact of President Trump's tariff policies continues to resonate across global markets. Recent developments have seen a flurry of negotiation attempts between the United States and various trading partners as countries scramble to adjust to the shifting tides of U.S. trade policy. A focal point of this discourse is India's proposal aimed at significantly reducing tariffs on U.S. imports, an effort that may signal a broader trend of nations seeking to mitigate the economic fallout from escalating trade tensions. On May 27, 2025, reports emerged indicating that India has offered steep tariff cuts to the U.S., although it seeks to maintain high duty levels on certain agricultural commodities. This move comes amid a backdrop of growing frustration from President Trump, who has oscillated between imposing and delaying tariffs on various imports. The term TACO, an acronym meaning Trump always chickens out, has gained traction on Wall Street, encapsulating the perception that Trump frequently retreats from aggressive tariff threats after igniting market volatility. During a recent press conference, Trump dismissed the term as nasty, defending his approach as a strategic negotiation tactic that has empowered the U.S. in trade discussions. The urgency for negotiation is echoed by the European Union's trade chief Maros Sefcovic, who confirmed that the EU is in talks with the U.S. to establish cooperation across sectors like semiconductors and aerospace while seeking to avoid the implementation of Trump's proposed 50% tariffs. Following a call between Trump and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, the U.S. has postponed the implementation of these tariffs until July 9, 2025, providing a critical window for further negotiations. Von der Leyen emphasized the importance of the transatlantic economic partnership, expressing readiness to engage in meaningful discussions. The effects of Trump's tariff policies are not limited to international relations. In the U.S. market, retailers such as Macy's and Capri have revised down their annual profit forecasts, citing the adverse impact of tariffs on consumer demand and pricing strategies. AutoZone's management has indicated that while they have yet to feel the full brunt of tariff-induced inflation, they anticipate significant cost increases if tariffs remain in place. This sentiment reflects a broader concern among corporations about the long-term implications of tariffs on their bottom lines, adding to the complexity of the situation. Tech giants like Apple and Nvidia are bracing for the repercussions of potential new tariffs. Trump has threatened a 25% tariff on Apple products unless the company shifts its manufacturing operations to the U.S., a move that has left industry leaders scrambling to devise contingency plans. Apple's CEO Tim Cook has previously attempted to distance the company from the unpredictability of U.S.-China relations, yet the ongoing tariff threats underscore the persistent vulnerabilities inherent in global supply chains. At a macroeconomic level, consumer confidence appears to be rebounding slightly, with the Conference Board reporting an increase in its Consumer Confidence Index to 98.0 in May, up from 85.7 in April. However, experts caution against overoptimism, noting that ongoing tariff uncertainties continue to loom over economic sentiment. The upcoming week will see a slew of earnings reports from major companies, including Nvidia, which could provide further insights into how businesses are navigating this turbulent economic landscape. In a related development, PDD Holdings, the Chinese parent company of e-commerce platform Temu, has reported a nearly 50% drop in profits, attributing the decline to the stringent tariff landscape and competitive pressures at home. This serves as a stark reminder of how interconnected global markets have become, as changes in U.S. policy can reverberate across continents. As the U.S. navigates these complex trade dynamics, the future remains uncertain. The interplay of tariffs, negotiation strategies, and economic indicators will undoubtedly continue to shape the landscape in the months to come, making it imperative for stakeholders to remain vigilant and adaptable in the face of ongoing changes. With critical negotiations on the horizon, the coming weeks may prove pivotal in determining the trajectory of U.S. trade relations and the broader global economy. In an unexpected yet welcome turn of events, consumer sentiment in the United States has surged following a temporary truce in the ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and China. As negotiations continue, the financial markets are responding positively, reflecting a renewed sense of optimism among consumers and investors alike. This rebound in sentiment comes at a crucial moment as businesses grapple with the implications of tariffs and shifting trade policies imposed by the Trump administration. The past several months have seen dramatic fluctuations in consumer confidence, largely influenced by President Trump's tariff threats and subsequent negotiations. Notably, Trump recently announced a delay on imposing a 50% tariff on European Union goods originally set to take effect on June 1. The one-month postponement, announced after a phone call with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, provides both sides with a critical window to engage in serious discussions. To reach a good deal, we would need the time until July 9, von der Leyen stated, emphasizing the importance of a collaborative approach to trade. This pause in escalating tariffs has already had a tangible impact on consumer sentiment. A recent report indicated that consumer confidence rebounded in May, with analysts citing the suspension of tariffs on Chinese imports as a key driver. Josh Schaefer from Yahoo Finance remarked that the recent détente with China has played a significant role in boosting consumer spirits. However, the complexities of trade negotiations extend beyond just consumer confidence. Companies across multiple sectors are increasingly vocal about the financial implications of tariffs. For instance, AutoZone's management noted that while inflation from tariffs has yet to significantly impact costs, they anticipate rising prices if the current tariff levels persist. If we do see significant tariffs, that will indeed have an inflationary impact, cautioned CFO Jameer Jackson. The automotive sector is particularly sensitive to tariff discussions, with major car manufacturers like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Volkswagen reportedly in talks with the U.S. Department of Commerce. They are seeking tariff relief in exchange for substantial investments in the U.S. market. Such negotiations underscore the delicate balance businesses must strike between navigating tariffs and maintaining profitable operations. In the tech industry, companies like Apple are also feeling the pressure. Trump has threatened Apple with a 25% tariff on iPhones unless production is moved back to the U.S. This ultimatum highlights the precariousness of the current trade environment, where geopolitical tensions can shift overnight, impacting large corporations and their supply chains. The stakes are high, particularly in the context of broader economic implications. As the US and EU continue to negotiate, the potential for a comprehensive trade deal worth over $1.8 trillion looms. This deal could reshape the transatlantic economic landscape, with significant ramifications for both American and European companies. Despite the optimism surrounding consumer sentiment and the temporary suspension of tariffs, challenges remain. The ongoing negotiations are fraught with complexities, and unresolved issues could quickly dampen the current positive outlook. Analysts warn that while the recent truce is a step in the right direction, it does not eliminate the underlying tensions that have characterized U.S.-China relations. As both sides prepare for further discussions, the focus will be on finding sustainable solutions that benefit consumers and businesses alike. The outcome of these negotiations could very well determine the trajectory of economic growth in the months and years to come. With so much at stake, all eyes will remain on the evolving trade landscape as it continues to unfold. As tensions simmer in the Indo-Pacific region, the increasing military presence of China near Taiwan raises alarm bells among global observers. Recent reports indicate that the People's Liberation Army (PLA) has shifted its posture from mere displays of military might to organized preparations, signaling a potential escalation in the long-standing conflict over Taiwan. This shift comes at a time when the United States, bolstering its alliances and military presence in response to China's aggressive maneuvers, faces challenges in maintaining regional stability. The situation around Taiwan has become more precarious, with military activities reaching unprecedented levels. According to a senior Taiwanese military official, the PLA's air force and missile systems are now capable of transitioning from peacetime to wartime operations with little warning. In May alone, Chinese aircraft made over 245 incursions into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone ADIZ, a stark increase from fewer than 10 incursions 5 years ago. The frequency of these incursions, including a notable incident on May 27 when 61 Chinese planes operated near Taiwan, underscores the growing threat perceived by Taiwanese authorities. China's naval activities have similarly intensified, with the PLA Navy conducting operations through critical maritime routes like the Miyako Strait and Bashi Channel. Military experts suggest that these maneuvers may serve as practice for broader Pacific missions, potentially preparing for an invasion scenario. Moreover, the PLA's amphibious forces stationed just across the strait are reportedly training regularly, enhancing their readiness for potential conflict. In response to these developments, the United States has reinforced its deterrent strategies in the region. One of the most significant moves has been the deployment of anti-ship missile launchers on Baton Island in the Philippines, strategically located just miles from Taiwan. This deployment, part of a broader military framework that includes long-range Tomahawk missiles, aims to deny Chinese access to vital maritime routes and reassure regional allies of U.S. commitment to their defense. The escalating military dynamics have not only heightened tensions but also introduced risks of miscommunication and miscalculation. A report from the International Institute for Strategic Studies highlights that the current U.S.-China relationship is characterized by deep mutual distrust and a lack of effective dialogue mechanisms. The report suggests that under the leadership of President Donald Trump, the potential for conflict may increase due to a more aggressive U.S. stance in the Indo-Pacific. Taiwan, recognizing the urgency of the threat, has initiated a comprehensive overhaul of its defense strategy. The island has extended compulsory military service and revamped its training programs to enhance readiness against potential Chinese aggression. Taiwan's Defense Minister Wellington Koo and President Lai Ching-te have emphasized that this transformation is not merely a reaction but a necessary safeguard against what they perceive as an impending war of endurance. The upcoming Hong Kong military exercises scheduled for July will test Taiwan's readiness for multi-front scenarios, focusing on counter-invasion tactics and coastal defense. This proactive approach reflects Taiwan's commitment to fortifying its defenses while also striving to maintain its autonomy amid increasing external pressures. As the geopolitical landscape evolves, the risk of unintended escalation looms large. Experts warn that the line between military exercises and actual conflict is becoming blurred, with each side's military activities interpreted as provocations by the other. The Quincy Institute has labeled Taiwan as the most dangerous hotspot in U.S.-China relations, underscoring the urgent need for renewed diplomatic efforts to avert a catastrophic miscalculation. The complexities of the three-sided dynamic involving China, the U.S. and Taiwan have created a precarious situation. While China aims for reunification with Taiwan by 2049 or even sooner, the U.S. remains steadfast in its commitment to preventing unilateral changes to the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. As military posturing intensifies, Taiwan finds itself in a delicate balance between asserting its sovereignty and navigating the treacherous waters of great power rivalry. In this fraught environment, the prospects for conflict appear to be rising, driven by a combination of military readiness and political ambitions. Each military exercise, naval deployment and aerial incursion, serves as a reminder of the fragile peace that hangs over the Taiwan Strait. Without significant diplomatic intervention and a commitment to dialogue, the likelihood of a miscalculation leading to conflict increases, making the situation in the Indo-Pacific one of the most pressing global security challenges today.